know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.
This week's Player of the Week is one of my favourites of all time, the great Ray Wilkins. Now, Ray had already enjoyed a brilliant career before he joined QPR, for what many assume would be a short spell before he would go on to retire. But he became a mainstay at QPR for 6 years and a huge influence over so many players. Wilkins began his career at Chelsea, where he made his debut as a 17-year-old, and he was made captain at just 18 years of age. He played a big role in helping them win promotion. He played 179 times for them before he got a big move to Manchester United for £825,000. At United, he scored 10 goals during his 5 years at the club, including a brilliant strike in the 1983 FA Cup final, the first major trophy of his career.
The goal, Arnold Muren hit me a wonderful pass, and as the old cliche goes, it normally ends up in the stand or it goes in the back of the net, and thankfully it ended up in the back of the net. But the celebrations after, I regret, because for extra time I was just zonked out. I'd used up all my adrenaline and emotion in scoring that goal. Gary Stevens cancelled it out, the bugger, near the end, but it wasn't to be. But it was very, very enjoyable scoring it.
And Orbiston's made a run from the back, and Wilkins has scored one, and that's absolutely magnificent. Ray Wilkins has put Manchester United in front with a superb goal after 72 minutes, and Wilkins has only scored 5 goals in 4 years at Manchester United, but the 5th he'll always remember.
He was one of the best midfield players in the country, and he made the move to Italy, playing for AC Milan. He played 73 times for them and got himself into the best shape of his career. He was a regular for England. He played 84 times for his country, and he featured in the 1982 and 1986 World Cups. Although a red card in Mexico '86 proved to be a low point for him and meant he didn't feature again in a major tournament. Wilkins had a short spell at PSG before moving to Scotland, where he won the league at Glasgow Rangers under former teammate Graham Souness. In his 3 years in Scotland, he showed what a good player he was, winning the league twice as well as the Scottish League Cup. In November 1989, he made it clear he wanted to return to London, and he agreed a deal to join QPR under another former teammate, Trevor Francis. Unfortunately, Francis was sacked before the deal went through, but Wilkins agreed to make the move after Don Howe took over, who he had worked with when he played for England. Now, there were many groans at the time of a player joining who was seen to be at the end of his career. Wilkins was 33 years old and had been unfairly nicknamed a crab due to his passing sideways all the time. And I remember thinking at the time, what on earth have we signed him for when we already had great experience in midfield with Peter Reid? I was quickly proved very wrong. On his debut for QPR at Crystal Palace, Wilkins showed what a great player he was. He absolutely ran the game in midfield with a great range of passing, and he played a role in creating chances and goals in an emphatic 3-0 win. His home debut was against his former side Chelsea, and it was here that he played a lovely free kick for Les Ferdinand to score his second ever QPR goal. And it wouldn't be the last time that Wilkins would provide chances for the young forward. Wilkins was having a real impact and helped push QPR away from the relegation zone with some inspired performances. He scored his first goal for QPR in a 2-0 win over Cardiff in the FA Cup with a diving header. He was an absolute joy to watch, and teammates seemed to be in awe of him. He was not the quiet, soft touch that many had expected. He was very vocal on the pitch, organising the team, and his form was outstanding as he sprayed passes around to get the best out of the likes of David Bardsley, Andy Sinton and Roy Wegerle. He scored in a 2-0 win over Arsenal before getting this goal in a 2-2 draw with Liverpool in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Wilkins was brilliant in that game, and this goal had us all believing we could win the Cup that year, but we narrowly lost the replay 1-0, denying us a semi-final against Crystal Palace. There was even talk of Wilkins making the England squad for Italia '90. And against Golden Boy Paul Gascoigne, he ran absolute rings around the player at Loftus Road in a 3-1 win for Rangers. We finished the season in the top half, and fans were in love with Wilkins, and he was far from finished. He just seemed to get better with every season. He had a grace about him on the pitch, where he could play a ball with the outside of his foot across the pitch and it would find its target. He made the game look so easy. In a home game against Luton, he was absolutely superb, and he scored a rare header in an emphatic 6-1 win. A 3-2 win at Leeds is remembered more for a great Roy Wegerle goal, but Wilkins opened the scoring for Rangers that day to start a comeback from 2-0 down. And the team suffered a bit of an injury crisis that season, but Wilkins' performances ensured Rangers stayed up comfortably in the end. He'd been a big supporter of a young striker, Les Ferdinand, and when Les got his chance, Wilkins seemed to really talk him through games as the striker began to flourish at Loftus Road. When Don Howe left and Jerry Francis took over, it was all change at Loftus Road. And Wilkins suffered an Achilles injury in the first game of that season at Arsenal, ruling him out for several months.
How's it coming along, Ray?
Slowly but surely.
I think you are.
No idea. No idea. That's
What actually is the injury?
just had a little operation on the Achilles tendon.
Still sore.
You could say that. You could say that. It's quite sore, but it's. I'm winning. That's the main thing.
Is it hard setting it out at this stage of the season?
It's the hardest part. You know, you see the lads go out there and attempting to do their utmost, and this is definitely the hardest part, sitting around and watching.
Without him, QPR looked to struggle inside, but his return to the side saw an upturn in the team's fortunes, as we went 12 games unbeaten in the league after his return. That included this goal in a draw with Sheffield Wednesday, which pretty much sums Wilkins up. With chaos all around him, Wilkins is the calmest man on the pitch. Up he strolls to calmly lift the ball over the keeper and into the net. Pure and utter class. Now, Leeds United won the title that season, but they were no match for Rangers, as we thrashed them 4-1 at Loftus Road. Now, this pass from Wilkins again shows what he is all about. Whilst most players wouldn't even see that pass, he definitely flicks the ball through, as the Leeds defence have no idea what to do and how to stop him. As a club, it all seemed to come together in the 1992-93 season, with Wilkins' performances still brilliant, and the team began to find some consistency.
We came here last year 1-4-1, and all of a sudden the players thought, yes, we can win at other places.
After a good start to the season with just one defeat in the opening 11 games, Spurs came to town, and Wilkins produced a masterclass in a 4-1 win. This header put us 2-1 up, and the celebration remains an iconic moment of Wilkins' time at Loftus Road.
So much to aim at in the middle. Good ball as well. Wilkins. It's 2-1. What a game this is.
Another injury affected the team and the season when he broke his leg on the morning of a game at Middlesbrough. QPR were in with a chance of winning the inaugural Premier League at the time, but struggled without Wilkins, and his influence on the team was obvious. We won just 3 times in the 15 games he missed, and his return to the team was at home to Nottingham Forest, where we won 4-3 and would see us go unbeaten in the final 6 games of the season, winning 4 of them, as Wilkins helped transform the team and ensure a 5th place finish. His final goal for QPR was this rocket at home to Liverpool, leaving Bruce Grobbelaar in the Liverpool goal dumbfounded.
It's going to come out to Wilkins, and it's in! Ray Wilkins with a magnificent strike, right past Bruce Grobbelaar. Well, the team are happy, they're celebrating. That was brilliant by Ray Wilkins. And they're happy as well. Jubilation in the terraces. You won't see many shots like that this season.
Now, the 1993-94 season was his last as a player, as he left to join Crystal Palace on a free transfer at the end of that season. The move didn't really work out, as he suffered a bad injury on his debut and never played for them again. QPR was struggling without him, and after manager Jerry Francis resigned, Wilkins was the man that QPR wanted to replace him, and he was back at QPR as a player manager. His first game in charge was against Leeds United.
So into the last 23 minutes now. Steve Yates playing it forward for Queen's Park Rangers. Ferdinand leaps up there again. It's going to fall for Barker, and here's Gallen. Oh, Gallen, can he do it? He can! It's 3-1! 3-1 Queen's Park Rangers!
It's tough stuff, honestly. Normally you're nervous 10 minutes before a game as a player, but I've got to say I was nervous for 90 minutes there. But I've got those fellas out on the field from where they worked their socks off for me today, and I'm absolutely thrilled for them.
Now, his time as manager is not viewed as well as his time as a player, but in his first season he took QPR from struggling in 16th place to an 8th place finish, and also got to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, something we haven't done since. He got the best out of Les Ferdinand and a young Kevin Gallen in what was quite an impressive first season as manager. Now, as you probably know, his second season didn't go as well after we lost star man Les Ferdinand, and the signings to replace him really didn't work out. And despite still being one of our best players, he was reluctant to pick himself regularly. He started just 14 games as we were relegated that season.
No one would have expected the other three teams above us to win away from home, but they all did. It was extremely disappointing for the players because they'd ended our season at home on a wonderful note with a super second half performance, and it was very disappointing. Disappointing for everybody concerned, supporters alike, people that work within the club, put a lot of time in, and they are supporters, the people that work within the club. So therefore it was extremely disappointing, and as you quite rightly state, the dressing room was in a terrible state afterwards. But then, we left the stadium, we left the ground with, the supporters' voices, ringing in our ears. It was a fantastic send-off for the players, considering we've been relegated. Well, I feel confident we can come back. As far as being honest with people, I think it's the only way to be, is to be up front. If you start dallying around corners with people, then you'll get found out. I honestly believe if you come out with the truth and give people an honest answer, then you can't go far wrong. But I've enjoyed it. The supporters have given me a tremendous backing, and hopefully we will all learn from the experience of last year and we'll be better people for it.
Hopes for higher promotion the following season, but a season-ending injury to Kevin Gallen left him short of options up front, and under new ownership, he left the club in August 1996. He would go on to manage Fulham before several coaching roles with Chelsea, and he also worked in the media. In October 2011, QPR faced Chelsea at Loftus Road in a game we won 1-0. Wilkins was commentating, and we saw him after the game outside the lower loft. He was as polite as ever, chatting with fans, and I got to tell him that he was one of the best players I've ever seen at Loftus Road, to which he replied, "That's very kind of you, young man." He really was a true gentleman, and he was genuinely one of the best players I've ever seen at QPR. He had the passing range of someone like a Xavi and a massive influence over the dressing room. So many players of that era were pushed to reach their potential thanks to Ray Wilkins. During his time at QPR, he played 210 times, which is more than he did at any other club. He scored 10 goals, 8 of those were at Loftus Road, 2 of them away from home. He got 26 assists, and Liverpool was his favourite opponent for scoring goals. He got 2 against them. As a manager, he won 30 of his 80 matches in charge. Kevin Gallen scored the most goals under him with 21, just ahead of Les Ferdinand, who got 19. His biggest win as a manager was a 4-0 cup win over Aylesbury. Now, Ray sadly passed away in 2018, and he is greatly missed by everyone. He really was our Super Ray. He had no hair, but we just didn't care. Super Ray.